Hello, this is the Game Reviewer, and welcome to my channel. This is going to be a review. I'm going to do a review of No Man's Sky, the PC version. And there's also going to be some rambling at the end. I'm just going to talk about Hello Game, Sean Murray, Sony, and the hype around it. Well, I wouldn't say hype, but a cult at this point, because I don't know, man. I've seen a lot of stuff, but wow. This one, yeah, and there's also coughing. Sorry about that. I'm gonna try to get it away, but anyways, yeah, so I played the PC version, and I got my thoughts on it. You know, in PC gaming, space games are not something new. Probably on console, especially with the recent consoles, in maybe, I guess. I'm not into console, so please tell me if someone... I've played a game that looks like similar to No Man's Sky or any other space games, except for Rebel Galaxy, which I know that exists. If there's any other ones, then yeah, please tell me, because I think this is kind of a fresh new thing going on for consoles. On PC, there's a lot of them. A lot. And I'm going to be harsh with this one, but I'm going to be fair as well. So let's start with the company here. This has been done by Hello Games, and the publisher is Sony. Yeah, what did Hello Games did? Well, it's Joe Danger, kind of an Excite-Bike kind of game. It's really good. I should do a review of that. And, you know, and when I think of the game, the first thing that pops to mind is, with the whole review going on here, is this. When you go see like an employer, for example, and you want a job, you gotta make a good first impressions. Unfortunately, this hasn't been done right. He didn't succeed in impressing me and a lot of other players, because you go on the console version, everybody seems to like it, but on PC, oh crap, everyone hates it. Go on like the GOG reviews, user reviews, go on the Steam user reviews. It's official, it's unanimous, everyone hates it, or so. So, on the PC version, it seems to be, I would say, it seems to be buggy. Like, there's a couple of bugs. For example, my ship was able to land on a plant. Wow. I didn't know I could do that before. Some textures, when you look at the ground, they're not like they're supposed to be like ground. Like some planets have some red kind of textures, and then you see this black or blue textures. So it's supposed to blend in. But for whatever reason, I see squares. Not all the time, but I do see that. There's also the textures that are popping up in front of me. Kind of like a draw distance kind of problem, like images or objects popping in front of me. And this one is done really weird. It's kind of a really bad transition going on, like something really, really weird. You're gonna see it throughout this video. Everything that I say here will be in this video, by the way. There's also the fact that when I play after an hour and a half or 2 hours or so, the game will slow down to a halt, like 10 FPS and lower. I literally have to go down, because I don't want to lose everything here. So if I'm in the sky, I got to land. If I'm on the ground, then I gotta find a flag or something. I gotta do something to save the game. And then I just got to shut down the game and restart the game. I know that some people will play the game and it's perfect. Like, there's no problem, no crashing, nothing at all, no slowdown, no FPS loss, or no textures popping in. Well, I don't know about that one. There's no problem. And other people, they just can't even start the game. So it's all over the place for PC. Unfortunately, well, as far as I'm concerned, it hasn't been really good for PC version. And yeah, man, wow, it's really bad for PC games on this one. And so for the gameplay, I'm gonna go over some parts here, and here's the thing here. No, I'm not going to go for the overall, but just look. Let's start with the exploration here. And I'm going to go with certain aspect and stuff like that. I'm going to give what I think about the game in conclusion, but first I have to talk about the game itself, like the certain aspects of the game. Anyways, yeah, exploration. This is the only thing that made me go, wow. When I saw the video, I saw Sean Murray on stage, and there he was, and I was just looking at the screen on how big the universe is, his galaxy is. My jaw dropped the floor, as in, what the fuck? How is this gonna fit in my hard drive? But it's all procedurally generated. So the size of this thing is freaking huge. And there's also a point to it. It's also connected to, I would say, oh man, like multiplayer, for example. But I'm gonna say that towards the end. And yeah, there was something related to that. But anyways, like the universe is too big for multiplayer. But anyways, I'm just gonna talk about that later. And it's really big. I love that. It's freaking huge. No one can say, you know what, this is not, like, there are certain people out there that are going to say, you know what, this game is too small, so it's not worth $60, or it's not worth $30, or so on and so on. They can't complain about that one. It's way too big. Unfortunately, procedurally generated content, what does that do? Is that everything that's procedurally generated, it doesn't have personality. I know it's a computer that did it. It's not a person. You look at it and you see nothing special. Here's the thing. Sometimes they're going to go on a planet, and the second one and the third one, they may have similarities, but they look different. Because, you know, the definition of different. And other times, listen, I've been on planets which are, like, I don't know, all green and you see a blue sky. And sometimes I've been on a planet that looks like Mars, but has those like giant freaking rocky roots coming out of the sky, like from the ground, and they're going in the sky. It's really weird. I've seen some really weird things going on, and it's good, but they have to work on it because, for example, the animals, even though they're procedurally generated, that's my opinion. It may look good or bad depending on your perspective. To me, it looks way too weird. Like there's spores, like the game Spore from Axis. To me, that was better in terms of generating a monster or an animal or whatever. Wow. But this one here, it's really weird. I've seen like, think of this little monster here. It's like a giant beetle, like the body of a beetle, and on top was a praying mantis, like its claws in its head. It was weird. Really weird. Anyways, let's move on here. There's no events, there's like nothing's dynamic. For example, you go on a planet, you have to discover the stuff that's already there. There's some buildings, and there's some caves as well, but that's it. There's no events. Nothing will come up to say, oh, well, you know what events are. So yeah, there's no events here. And when you go see the NPCs regarding exploration, if you ever call that an exploration game, because personally I find this to be more about a survival than exploration. There's animals to find, to discover, but explore? I don't know, there's no events, there's nothing going on here, so I don't know if this... It may seem stupid, but you got to understand, from my perspective, there's barely nothing that pushes me to explore. So to me, it's more about a survival game, because when you look around, you always got to find your carbon, your isotope, your zinc, your iron for your stuff for you to survive, and you have this limited inventory, which I'm going to get later on. I'm going to talk about later on. So it's more about survival than exploration because of the lack of content in it regarding that exploration aspect. Like there's nothing that pushes me towards exploring other planets, except for the stuff that I need to do, of course. But other than that, just for pure fun. And let's take out the imagination thing going on, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. But yeah, that's what I can say about the exploration here. And there's also the NPCs. the NPCs only have a couple of things going on. They only make you trade stuff, or they give you stuff, or they request stuff. Or there's also the fact that when you go into a building, you're gonna have to solve puzzles. That's good, but I like some variety in those puzzles, because I do seem to know by heart some of the answers. I'm not kidding here. I don't know if it's me being in the beginning or something, because I didn't complete the game, but I made, what, 20 hours or so, 10, 15, 20 hours, and I went into like a black hole and everything, so I discovered a lot of planets. Like, I have like a sheet full of planets going on. So I don't know if it's me not discovering enough, but there's not enough variety in the answers or the puzzles from the drones or whatever it is, like the console going on here. And regarding the exploration, to me, there's not enough variety. For example, you will see an animal, and let's say it looks like a squirrel. You're gonna see another variety of squirrel with only a wing. That's it. There's not enough variety here. And I would love, for example, there's one thing that really annoys me to death is when there's only one animal left, you can't seem to find it. How about getting that little hunter mode going on? How about tracking the tracks on the ground, see what they eat? You have the data from the planet, so it should be a bit easier. It should give you the intel. That would be fun. Yeah, but anyways, this is not like an idea, kind of. It's my review, but anyways, there's, again, lack of content right there. And I've seen people complain or say that there's no story in this game, which is ridiculous. The thing is this. It seems to be done in an unorthodox way. Usually in games, it tells you up front and very clear what the story is. In here, there's so much mystery to it. There's so much questions. I just went to a podcast today and I told them, like, just to get their feedback or just to talk about it, and I said, listen, when you go to the second galaxy, what happens with the first one? Like, not you, but the galaxy itself. Does that explode? Who's the Atlas? Who are they? Who's controlling the Sentinel? I mean, it's a robot, right? So it should be controlled by someone, if it is controlled by someone. Like, stuff like that. It's so mysterious. There's so many questions. That's what I like about that little part of the story. It's mysterious, and it's shady, it's vague. There's a lot of things going on with the story that is not answered. Personally, I love that. And it's also done in an unorthodox way, as in you have to find out what the story is. Usually in games, the story comes to you. Or you are the story. In this one here, it's like you're the driver. You have to drive to a certain place in order to find out what the story is, which is kind of cool to me. It's like it's not the usual kind of story, but I like it. Well, not that I like it, but I find it to be really original, and I love that part. And then there's fighting. Oh my god, this is like so basic. It needs to be a bit more. Again, there's a lack of content. It's so shallow. It's really basic. You don't even have cover. You can use your multi-tool. There's only the multi-tool. That's it. There's nothing else. You can't, I don't know, man. There's nothing a lot going on regarding the fighting. There could be so much more. Just look at any other first-person shooter games that exist on the market right now. You know what I mean. Like, there's the cover system, there's plenty of weapons that you could use, or plenty of skills that you could use. Just on top of my head, sniper weapons, or taking control of the Sentinels, for example. Or maybe some animals. I don't know. It's a sci-fi world, right? Should be possible. I guess. I really have no clue here, but these are like a couple of things that I would love to see, or at least cover. The AI as well could use a lot of improvements, because it's almost non-existent here. And there's also something going on with the controls, before I forget, but the controls, it feels too much of a console. I have a keyboard and a mouse. And the way it's done, I really don't like it. Like the dodge, there seems to be some keys that are mixed together. I have a for fuck's sake. I got over 100 keys on my keyboard. Some things that Hello Games did that weren't really well thought. But don't get me wrong, I mean, exploration, beside fighting and everything, I mean, exploration, if you can call it that, can be really fun. You go on planet to planet, it can be repetitive, that's what I hear a lot, but what game is not? And for whatever reason, for example, when you get to play, I don't know, like, most of the free-to-play games are really repetitive, but they're really good. They are really popular as well. This one, it's the same thing. I mean, what's wrong with being repetitive? Sometimes, some people love it. I don't know. It seems to be really good here. I don't have a problem with that. And regarding the inventory, especially at the start of the game, when you start the game, there seems to be a problem here. And this is where Hello Games have to rework the inventory from scratch. They have to rework it. It doesn't work and it doesn't make any sense. When you look at like at a ship module, like a shield module, for example, it takes the same amount of space as 1 unit of gold. To me, that doesn't make any sense. They should use a weight system. As in, gold weights this much, the module weights this much, so you have that extra space, and that's it. And that should be a bit better when you start the game, and especially when you're at the end of the game. It should be like that, personally. Because right now it doesn't make any sense. And that's why I say it feels more of a survival game than an exploration game. Because you may find some cool things, as in copper, aluminum, and all those really, like those green items that you find, either that you can use for your upgrades or you can sell. But you can't, because you're always looking for carbon or plutonium, and sometimes you gotta drop it, especially in the first part of the game, which pisses me off and it annoys me to hell, which is one of the reasons why I'm gonna go to my conclusion. I'm gonna tell you what I will tell you in my conclusion, but I don't want to go far ahead. I think you can find out, well, until now, what I'm gonna say in my conclusion. It's pretty clear at this point, I think. And then there's fighting in space. It feels way too arcadey, but there are some problems with the control. I am aware there are some not memory modules, but modules that you can use to get more maneuverability and more agility and all that stuff, but still, the controls feels a bit too clunky. It feels too... You're probably gonna laugh, but like way too... I think the only way to describe it is like way too wobbly. Like it doesn't stop on a dime, and if it does, it's really weird the way it does, because it's like the sensitivity shifts from 0 to 100 and from 100 to 0 or something. Like there's an enemy, and the enemy, by the way, has no AI. There's no AI in here. It shoots you, it goes straight to you, then it passes by you, and it goes away from really long distance. It switches like up to you. It turns around to you. It shoots you, and it does like rinse and repeat. That's it. That's what it does. It doesn't try to avoid your shots. You can't pick up your ship and go like strafe left or right or something. Your ship doesn't have thrusters except for the back one. How does it turn left or right? Don't fucking know. I really don't know here. This is really weird. I'd love to get the controls of Star Citizen or Elite Dangerous, or, well, yeah, just Elite Dangerous. It's a popular game, by the way. It's in kind of a beta stage or something. I love the controls of that ship, I mean, and it feels some kind of arcadey, but still in depth and a bit more. They have more experience towards space games, I believe. This one, it feels too arcadey. Just to tell you, the game called Freelancer, the one that Chris Robert did a couple of years, well, I would say like a decade ago or so, is more in depth and is better than this one here, unfortunately. It needs a lot of work. That's what I mean. Again, it's shallow. It lacks of, I would say, like lack of content. So for the multiplayer part, there are some questions, well, not questions, but there are some people that's gonna say, well, there's no multiplayer in here, and da-da-da, and then they're gonna rant, and they're gonna bitch, and they're gonna be angry. There's no multiplayer in here. I don't even know how it could be implemented. The world is so freaking huge. Look at the galaxy. It's way too huge. There's way too many. How it could be implemented, I don't know. Maybe a small region that would probably work, like a different mode or something with servers and so on and so on. I don't know. In this current state, with everyone like a persistent world, it wouldn't make any sense to me. The world is too big. Way too big. Then you got different galaxies. Then you have your friends. I don't know how it's going to be implemented. Maybe that's why they're talking about it. And yeah, I'm going to go on my rambling part on that one. But I don't even see how it could be implemented. For the buildings, a lot of complaints have been also regarding the buildings, as in there's no buildings, so this is not worth it, and so on and so on. Why do you need buildings? The main goal of the game is for your character to go to the center of the galaxy. Isn't building like a base or something on the planet like goes all against that goal? Unless it's to help you in certain functions, as in scanning, finding animals, and so on, that would be good. But for the rest, as in I need to survive, I need to be, to feel safe, I need defense, you don't need that. Look around you. There's always a frickin' plant to give you carbon. There's always plutonium. There's always something around you to help you survive. You don't need buildings. Unless it's regarding certain specific functions. That would be awesome. Even turrets, for example, that would help you in fighting. For example, when you know you're gonna pick up that plant, like the one that has the beads or something, don't know what the name is, you know there's going to be a robot, like a walking robot, fine. Put up 2-3 turrets. Let's rape that robot. You pick up the plant and the bead or whatever it is, then they appear and they die. Boom, that's it. That could be it. I don't know, something similar to that. But regarding that, before I go to my conclusion, well, yeah, let's go on my conclusion here. Oh, no, before that, the UI. Why in hell do I have to go through a delay of 2 seconds or so before making any actions in the menu? That is really annoying. Very, very, very annoying. I go on a flag, I press E, I have to wait 1 or 2 seconds. There's a short delay which pisses me off, like royally off. Small little details that pisses me off for me. I'm not sorry, this is how it is for me. And in conclusion, I think it's really clear to me, well, to you, I mean, to me, I personally feel the game is not worth it. I'm not even going to talk about the cash. It's not about the cash. It's about if the game is worth it or not. Too many problems on PC. Wait up. Minimum a couple of months. Like, I would probably say 2-3 months. It is a small team, by the way. Hello Games is a really small team. They just made Joe Danger, and then they tried to attack the whole world. Yeah, it's going to take some time for them to fix the game. But regarding, other than that, I can think of the game. I'm going to use an analogy. There's 2 analogies, just to make sure that you guys understand. There's the fact that, no, not the fact, but there's the analogy of an egg. Like an Easter egg, not a trolling gaming kind of way, but a real actual Easter egg. It has really cool, beautiful colors and designs. It's really beautiful to look at. It's really fun. But once you open up the egg, there's nothing. It's shallow. There's nothing at all. There's no content, or barely any content. Nothing is developed. This game feels like an alpha version of a PC game that just came out right now. Even though it's a full-fledged title with a full price on it, but I'm not going to talk about the price. I forbid myself to talk about the price in this one. It's weird. Another analogy would be taking a body, but you got the skeleton, but no muscles. Again, it's shallow. There's no content, or almost no content. But there's a lot of potential, though. Even though I felt I just shit on the game, like, completely, there's a lot of potential in the game. I really do believe in that. I also understand why people would really love the game. It has a lot of content. You can let your imagination go. Because of this, I don't know if it's a word, but the shallowness of the game, as in the story not really, well, being vague. Everything else around you doesn't have a story, or like a little backstory to it, or a background. You can fill it up with your mind. I miss those in games. As in, let's be vague, don't explain anything. Like the old movies, for example. Like the Jaws movies. You never see the damn, like the damn shark. You can imagine it really easily, but you never see it. And yet, it's one of the best movies of all time. Well, in my case. Anyways. Like old movies like that. Alfred Hitchcock was really good regarding that. He didn't go into not details, but like visually. Anyways, I'm not gonna do that because it's gonna take way too much time. But I loved Alfred Hitchcock movies because of that, because of the mystery behind it. It wasn't really clear like today with all the CGI, and you have to see something. Like if there's a monster or an alien, you have to see it. In old movies, a lot of times you didn't see anything. The directors or producers, they wanted you to fill in the blanks. That's what Hello Games did with that one, and they succeeded like really 100% regarding that little part. So let's go on to my rambling series. Well, to my rambling part. I mean, not series, but what Hello Games did. Sorry about that. What Hello Games did. Sony and Sean Murray, I'm afraid of them. I'm being honest here, and I'm not kidding here. I'm really afraid of them because of what they did before. And the thing is this, they created not a hype, but they created a cult. And the problem with that to me is that when you create a cult like that, I think they did it on purpose. How they did it is probably the origins of this is that they never gave a clear answer. Like when you saw Sean Murray in interviews, even if he said like a clear answer of yes or no, the next interview or someone else in the media outlets will tell you the contrary. Say no, there is not, or yes, there is, and they'll give you some answer, thus giving you a vague answer all the time. Or even if he said yes, there's multiplayer, the media outlet will tell you no later on. You can see it, it's everywhere on the internet. I've seen everyone picking up some answers to say no, there's no multiplayer, and there's another article that says yes, there is later, or whatever the time is. It doesn't really matter. Sony or Sean Murray or Hello Games, or I don't know who did it. I believe it's Sony because those are the ones who take care of the publishing, of the marketing. They are experts at this. This is Sony we're talking about. It's not like a little company like a Hello Game here. That's my take on it, and I'm really afraid of that because they know how to do it. It's like Psychology 101, in other words. You always are vague on answers, so that way you hope that the people will fill in the blanks. Just like Alfred Hitchcock did with most of its movies. Well, with most of its movies, because that's what he did. He wanted you to use your imagination, your brain. The problem with this is that we're on the internet. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook and Twitter and all. Information gets around everywhere, and a cult got created. It's not even a hype at this point, and I haven't seen a community so polarized as this. I haven't seen this. It's like literally impossible. Well, not impossible, but I haven't seen one like this before. Either you really hate it to the extreme, or you love it to the extreme. It's always polarized, and it pisses me off because and yeah, there's another thing as well which I'm going to touch about the research. Some people say, well, you know what, if you don't like the game and you paid for it, well, it's your fault because you didn't do research. I would agree to a certain point, but there's two things on this one. Number one, I expect the game, especially on PC, to run correctly. At the very least, not crash, and not get my FPS to the ground, as in lower than 10 FPS. Do I expect bugs? Do I expect slowdowns in FPS? Yes, but not up to a point that I have to restart the game and it's impossible to fix. There's no fix in this one. You may tell me remove FXAA or anti-alias or whatever it is, lower the texture quality. I will get a slowdown, or my game will crash. I should not expect that. That's the thing. This is inexcusable. That's why I don't recommend the game right now, especially on PC. For the console, I don't know. Go look at BearHugger29. He takes care of that one, of that part. There's another part as well, is that, and I lost my train of thought. Yeah, well, I'm just going to end it with this one. Oh, yeah, the research. Regarding the research, where should I look for information? Don't forget that media outlets like, I don't know, Polygon, GameSpot, IGN, there's many others as well, but their job is to get clicks. Like, you can tell me, yeah, it's to give information, it's to tell you about the game, and so on, but don't forget that media outlets have been having a problem with ethics for a lot of years. So are they telling the truth? Does the article that I'm reading is about giving me the information only? Who knows? Maybe they just want me to click and that's in. They're willing to lie, which happened before. So where should I get the information? Personally, I think I should get the information from their website directly, from the developers, which makes a lot of sense, or at least from Sony. Look at their website. There's almost nothing. There's even a Reddit post somewhere. I'm probably going to link it. And that Reddit post, it tells you all the information that it's supposed to have that does not have right now. This is an outright lie because of the vagueness of all the information that's been given out. Right now, we know. I mean, the game is out. We know what's out there. We know what's in the game. We know what's not in the game. In the end, everyone was lied to, everyone got into hype, and everyone got deceived by it. Do I feel bad? No, because I bought the game on GOG on day one, and after that, when I played the game, because every PC will react differently to the game. With me, it crashed at first. The second patch fixed the crash, but not the FPS loss. I had to restart the game every hour. It made it worse, even. It slowed my game down up to 30 minutes. Like, after 30 minutes, it would slow down. This is unacceptable. So I asked for a refund from GOG, and I did have it. That's where my conclusion will end, and that's where my... Is the game worth it or not? Well, I just got a refund, so that tells you a lot. I do have faith in Hello Games. I do have faith in the game, so maybe later I will buy it again or so. I'm not even sure on that one. Am I willing to do that when Hello Games and Sony lied to me and deceived me? You may tell me, well, it's up to you to do the research. Yeah, but the research lied at some point. So, am I 100% guilty in that? No. No, I'm not. But those are my opinions. What are yours? What do you think about the game, especially about the features that are not in the game today that were promised before? There's a Reddit post with full information there. Everything is there. You cannot ignore it. I'm gonna post it in the description. I have to remember this one. Anyways, I'm out of here. I hope you like the review and the rambling. It's my first time that I do like a review and ramble at the end. I just have to do it with this one here. I just have to do it. Anyways, I'm out of here. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.